For most of us, our entire lives are built around one thing: the paycheck. It pays the bills, it funds our lives. But what if there's a totally different way to think about money? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a powerful concept, a trick the wealthy have used for generations to build real, lasting security. It's a way to create cash flow that can eventually replace your paycheck completely.
So let's just dive right in with a big, provocative question. We all think of our paycheck as our safety net, right? It's our foundation. But what if it's also a trap? What if it's a system that's designed to keep us on a hamster wheel, running in place forever? Let's dig into that. Here's the core of it, and it's super simple when you break it down. A normal job is a straight up trade. You give your time, you give your energy, and in return, you get money. But, and this is the crucial part, the second you stop that trade, maybe you get laid off, maybe you retire, maybe you just need a break, the money stops instantly. It's a system that's totally 100% dependent on you showing up. Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the solution? Well, there is another way, a method that completely flips the script. It's what we're calling the cash flow secret. And let me tell you, this isn't about just trying to get a raise. This is about fundamentally changing the entire game of where your money comes from. All right, so what in the world is cash flow? It sounds complicated, but it's actually incredibly simple. Think of it like this. It's income that just keeps showing up, whether you get out of bed in the morning or not. It's money that's being generated by your assets, by your investments, by systems you've created, not by the hours you clock in. So let's put these two side by side, because this is where it really clicks. On one side, you've got active income. That's your job, your paycheck. It needs you there all the time. But on the other side, you have cash flow. That's your money working for you 24/7, whether you're on vacation or fast asleep. This is the massive shift from being the engine that makes the money to owning the engine. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually, do it? How do you make this real? Well, it all comes down to building what I like to call your own personal money machine. Let's look at a couple of examples of what that machine could look like. Let's paint a picture. Imagine for a second you've managed to save up and invest 100 grand into a solid group of companies that pay dividends. Now, you're not trying to day trade here. You're not a trader, you're an owner. So what happens next? Well, with a pretty typical 4% dividend yield, those stocks are now kicking off $4,000 a year. Think about that for a second. That's a paycheck that just arrives in your account simply because you own something. You didn't have to sell a single share to get it. That right there is your money machine starting to hum. And hey, it's not just about stocks. The exact same idea works for other things too. Take a rental property. After you've paid the mortgage, the taxes, the repairs, that money that's left over every single month, that's pure cash flow. It's another gear in your machine, earning you money while you sleep. And the list of potential money machines is actually way bigger than most people realize. Yeah, you've got dividends from stocks and interest from bonds, you've got rental income, but you can also build a business with systems so it runs without you. Or you could create digital products like courses or ebooks that sell over and over again. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's generating reliable automated income. Now, this next part is maybe the most important piece of the whole puzzle, because building this machine, it's not just about what you do with your money. It's about how you think about your money. You have to make a huge mental shift from being a saver to becoming an owner. You've got to completely flip the script in your head. Most of us are trained to ask, how much can I save? That's playing defense. You need to start playing offense by asking, how much cash flow can this asset spin off for me? Every dollar you have then becomes a little employee you can send out to work for you. See the difference? Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you've got $500,000. If it's just sitting in a bank account, it feels safe, sure, but it's what I'd call dead money. It's lazy. Now take that same 500,000 and put it into assets that produce cash flow. Suddenly it's working money, and it might be generating, say, 25 grand a year in income. That is the difference between having a pile of cash and having a perpetual paycheck. Okay, I can hear you now. That's great, but I don't have $500,000 lying around. And you know what? That's totally fine, because the first few dollars you make this way, they're actually the most important. That first tiny $20 dividend check, that first $50 in rent money, it's not about the amount, it's the proof. It's the moment you realize, wow, money can actually show up without me working for it. That changes everything. So where does all this lead? What's the ultimate goal here? Look, the point isn't to get rich quick and quit your job next Tuesday. The real achievable goal is to build your money machine to the point where your paycheck becomes optional. And that, my friends, is a gradual journey, not a lottery ticket. And this is pretty much what that journey looks like. You start where almost everyone is. Your job pays for everything. But then you start building. Your assets start covering a chunk of your life, maybe 30% of your expenses. And that's when the magic starts. Because now you've got more of your paycheck free to buy more assets, which makes them cover even more. And the whole thing just snowballs until one day, whew, the paycheck is just a nice to have, not a have to have. You can actually see that snowball effect right here. As that cash flow part of the pie gets bigger, it takes the pressure off your paycheck. And all that extra money from your job, it goes right back into buying more assets, making that cash flow slice grow even faster. It's a beautiful, powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. And this right here is what real financial security looks like. We're all taught that one big, stable paycheck is the goal, but that's like trying to balance on one leg. True security comes from having multiple streams of income flowing in. If one of them slows down or even stops, it's okay. You've got others to lean on. That's real stability. I want you to really let this sink in. When you go to work, you trade an hour of your life for an hour's worth of pay. You get paid for that hour once. But when you buy an asset, that one purchase, that one investment of time or money can pay you over and over and over again for years. That is the leverage that completely changes your financial life. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple idea. Your paycheck is great. It's important. It's funding your life right now. But the real question you have to ask yourself is, what's going to fund your future? Is it going to be more and more of your time? Or is it going to be a money machine that you start building piece by piece starting today?